Hey guys, so today I thought I would make vegan chocolate chip cookies, which are my favourite. And then I also put on my Instagram yesterday some questions that you wanted to ask, so I thought I'd make my cookies and while they're in the oven I could answer some of your questions. So the first thing I need to do, actually I've got the recipe here, so I will show you guys the recipe. So I will put it in my description, but it's really funny because it is like, oh, focus, please focus. Oh, there it is. So it's like on an old tattered bit of paper. It's actually one of my best friends, her mum's recipe, and she sent it to me a few years ago actually now. But they are the best cookies, like not even out of like the best vegan cookies, just the best cookies full stop. So I need to preheat my oven to Lord knows what actually, because everything is in the American, it's in Fahrenheit as opposed to Celsius. So let's go to C. 350. So I'm preheating my oven to 180 Celsius. I literally barely ever use my oven. It's quite funny because like I already had a baking tray and then I went out and brought a blue baking tray because I was like, I'm gonna make cookies and I want a pretty one. But yeah, I barely use my oven. It's actually quite bad. I'm a stove gal. So I'm starting off with coconut oil, and I then need coconut oil and brown sugar. So I have just got Demerara brown sugar. I think you can really use whichever one you like. This probably isn't the best one to use, but it's what I had in the cupboard. So I've got half a cup, and also it's going to be rough measurements unfortunately. I mean, I'm pretty good at knowing, I do a lot of baking when I'm at home and have the cup measurements. So I'm usually quite good at knowing what half a cup is, so I'd say that's quarter of a cup there. Oh, coconut oil everywhere. So yeah, I'm gonna put half a cup of coconut oil in my mixing bowl. I've actually got my mixing bowl just here. That's why you'll see me literally right here. But yeah, I'm putting half a cup. Actually, it might be better if you can see what I'm doing. So if I move myself. Ah, that's better. Professional over here. A little bit more in. These cookies may not turn out very well because I don't have measuring cups. I really should have thought about that before doing them. So next we have got a tablespoon of vanilla extract. That I can do. I have a tablespoon. Lovely. A tablespoon's quite a lot actually. Oh. So I'm just pouring that onto there. Going to be very vanilla-y cookies. Okay, so this is my rough measure of a cup again. That look about right? Yeah, you know what? I think that's fine. I'm sure somewhere it says that you're meant to really measure these out. It does say my mixture's looking quite liquidy, but it's fine. It says the mixture may be really liquidy. That's okay. It's fine. Okay, so in a separate bowl, I'm mixing flour, baking soda, and I definitely think I've put too much in here, but it's fine. Oh, it is fine. So we have got another bowl in here. My little unicorn bowl. I love this bowl. Honestly, when you come into my house, as you probably noticed, there's flowers, there's unicorns. It's just the most beautiful place to be. Actually, probably one of the best things about living alone is no one can tell me I can't have a pink fridge, and no one can tell me I can't have a pink kettle because I live by myself and I can have whatever I want. Which yeah, sometimes it is a bit lonely, but having a pink fridge and kettle, you just can't beat it really. So what's next? I need 2 cups of flour. Honestly, this is not going to be measured out very well. I do actually know my measurements. I'm putting in 2 cups. So that's actually we're just going to fill up this entire mug, I think. My counter. So I've got a full mug of flour. I'm just going to empty that into there. I might just include the flour that has gone all over my counter because we don't want to waste anything. And I have got baking powder, which has not been opened. Carbonate soda. That rhyme, it's baking soda. So I'm just adding in the flour really slowly. I'm not going to add it in all at once. And my recipe says that the mixture will turn really crumbly, which is absolutely fine. I don't mind that. Maybe I should answer a question while I'm mixing it actually. Let's see what questions I have. Honestly, this is the most Tamara thing ever. Making cookies, whisk in hand, and answering Instagram questions. Honestly, what has my life come to? Let's have a look. Oh, this one's a good one. What is my least favourite holiday? So I don't actually tend to go on holiday that much. I tend to, because obviously I've been at university here and now I work in England, I tend to just flip between England and home. I did go on holiday to Italy last year with my family and I absolutely loved it. It was amazing, but obviously that does not answer the question, what's my least favourite holiday? So it'll be back of like when I was in high school. I know what my least favourite holiday was. When I was in sixth form? It might have been the summer before I got into sixth form, and my mum decided that we were going on a family holiday to Panama. And I don't know if anyone has visited Panama or knows anything about Panama, but there's not really much there. If you like fishing, you can go fishing. There's lots there for fishing. But otherwise it's basically just the city and the rest of the country is quite deserted. So we got there and I'm not a city person, don't like them. So we got to Panama and I was literally just like, no, this is not for me. And I then got food poisoning whilst I was there, which that did not help whatsoever. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy it, but I will say the part that was my absolute favourite is we actually went and visited some of the indigenous tribes in Panama, and that was incredible. So amazing to see how their lives were so different, and it was almost like, I don't know, I loved it. I love seeing different cultures, and that bit was actually what I didn't like about Panama City. It wasn't cultural at all, but the indigenous tribe was amazing, and I remember the chief forced me to dance with him, and like, they came over, and I get a bit shy in those situations, believe it or not. And he came over and he was like, dance with me, and I was like, I'm not dancing with you, absolutely not. And all the ladies in the tribe were like, you have to, you can't say no, he's the chief. And I was like, oh my goodness. And we were on like a tour, so then I had to get out in front of everyone on the tour and dance with this chiefman of the tribe. It was so, like, in hindsight, it was really quite funny. But at the time, I was absolutely mortified. But yeah, it was not my favourite holiday. That was a really good part, but definitely not my favourite holiday. My chocolate chips, which is the best part, for sure. Definitely the best part of making cookies is the chocolate chips. So I'm just rolling them into balls and putting them on the tray. Classic cookie making. Maybe I'll answer another question while I do this. Oh, this is a good one. What did I study at uni? This is really funny actually, it's so random. I actually studied Middle Eastern Studies and Anthropology, so I have a joint honours degree in Middle Eastern Studies and Anthropology. I went into university just as an anthropology student, and then in my second year I did a Middle Eastern Studies module in like my first term, and literally after the first lecture I went to the flexible combined honours department and changed my degree. I absolutely loved it. I found it so interesting. I don't know, it wasn't really relevant to my life, it was so far away from sort of the things I do, but I just found it so interesting and I absolutely loved it. So yeah, I definitely say my degree was my favourite part about university. But yeah, Middle Eastern Studies and Anthropology. Who would have known that that's what I do, and I'd be here today having done that degree. So yeah, yoga or gym? Ooh, that's a really hard one. I assume this is like I can only do one sort of scenario. This is my assumption. So if I had to choose between doing yoga or doing the gym, in my brain the answer is really clear, but in like reality, when one of them has sort of gone out the window, it's not the one that I would say. Like I would always say like yoga over the gym, just because for my mental well-being yoga is so good. But then when I have been really stressed, like lately, I have just like not been going to my yoga classes, or not been doing my yoga at home, which is really bad, because I think when you're stressed and when you're sort of struggling, your body or your mind always tells you to do the opposite of what's going to make you feel better. Because like yoga 100% does make me feel better when I'm feeling rubbish, but I remember at the time thinking like I can't just be going to yoga classes, but I did try my best to fit the gym in. Anyway, my cookies are ready to go into the oven. They actually look so much better than when I've tried to make them before. Those two are touching. You need to move away. That is not your space, honey. You're not a white chocolate chip cookie, you're a dark chocolate chip cookie. You're my favourite. Yeah, so I'm going to put these in the oven. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm also going to eat the last bit of cookie dough then, while I answer another question. This is quite fun. If you were going to do a non-traditional hair colour, which would you choose? So this is actually a really funny story. I have been a non-traditional hair colour before for about a day when I was 17 maybe. That's good. Funny story is that I have actually been a non-traditional hair colour before for about a day. And I was bright Ariel, like pinky purple, like magenta basically. I looked like Ariel. Basically I wanted a pale pink or a pale lilac, which is still the non-traditional colour I would go now. But at the supermarket, because obviously I did it myself, I was 17 and silly. At the supermarket they only had this bright pink, and I thought, oh, like maybe it will fade to light pink, or like maybe if I don't leave it on for as long or whatever. I don't know what I thought, but yeah, I tried to dye it that pink colour, ended up with like bright Ariel pink hair, and brought a stripper to get it out the next day. Oh, okay. Favourite food? That is a fun one. Oh, I don't know what my favourite food is. My favourite thing at the moment when eating out is there's a Chinese restaurant that does vegetarian satay. I don't know if they're vegan because it is corn. To be honest, I've just been hoping they are vegan because I have been really good with my vegan. But yeah, they're like corn satays and they are so nice. But yeah, if I was to choose like a meal I make at home myself, it's risotto at the moment, which is weird. I was never much of a risotto gal, but I'm eating risotto so much at the moment because it's just so easy and I can chuck my veg in there and it's just so nice. Next question. Oh, what job do I do? How long you guys have been following me on my Instagram, but if you haven't followed me, you might know that I was at university and I finished university and I'm actually a teacher. I am a year 3 teacher and I absolutely love it. This might be the last question, and it is, any plans for the future? This is a really tricky question. I am a planner, 100%. I'm definitely a planner and I love being able to plan what's going to happen in the future. But at the moment where I am in my life, I feel like planning can be quite, what's the word? Detrimental to sort of your future. If you have such a clear plan in your head, you're not as open to the opportunities that come your way. So I know I posted recently about potentially something really exciting happening, and it might happen, it might not, but sort of I would never close myself off to loads of other opportunities just to focus on one plan, because things change. If you were to have asked me sort of 2 years ago if I'd have ended up here being a teacher in my little pink cottage, I would have said absolutely not, no way. But yeah, that's where I've ended up. So I have no idea where I'm going to be in a year. I have no idea where I'm going to be in 2 years. But yeah, and that's coming from someone who is a planner, and I'm not particularly spontaneous, but even I admit that, especially at the age I'm at, things can change so quickly. Yeah, that is the last question. I got a lot of just like hi, and I was like hello, but that's not a question. But yeah, those are all the questions. So I will show you my cookies when they are out of the oven. What they look like straight out the oven. I'm just going to let them cool for a minute and then I'm going to put them on the plate. So the cookies are done. They look incredible. Oh, it's so hard to see. Let me see if I can make it focus a bit more. Oh, that's better. They look incredible. I'm so excited. So I think I'm gonna have one of these with a cup of tea and get on with a little bit of work. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe below if you enjoyed this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Program.